Next on the list, we have this BMW 328X Drive. The car is a 2014, I believe. And the reason this vehicle is with us today is the client initially dropped his car off to get a vinyl wrap. When he went to pick his car up, his entire car was plasti dipped instead of wrapped. So all in, from afar, it's not that bad. It looks just like a flat black. You can kind of see up close, you get that plasti dip texture going around the car. You can see, I guess the side skirts were peeling initially for the client. They just didn't go thick enough coats in here, so everything's just peeling off. And it's not going to be too bad for us because it was a thick coat, so it shouldn't be too difficult with the disassembly. So I'm just kind of making this video. I want to show you guys the difference between a plasti dip liquid wrap change and then an actual vinyl wrap. You can see even here we got some, looks to be bumps and stuff that are in the plasti dip, maybe dirt when they were spraying it. Going around, it's honestly like I can't talk too much about it because it's not terrible, right? If this was not too sure on what this client paid, I didn't really get into details with the shop that did it or how much he paid. We're just kind of here to fix and resolve the situation. Last few years, a lot of people have been coming out with these liquid wraps. Some of them are high gloss and they're supposed to be as close to paint without actually painting your vehicle. So that's kind of the benefit of a vinyl wrap, is it's an affordable way to change the color of your vehicle without damaging too much or going poor quality with stuff like this. Like this plasti dip stuff is not built to last, right? Especially we live in Canada. If you're gonna drive this through the winter, I don't really see this holding up throughout the winter, right? With all the salt and everything. We've done vinyl wraps. I personally had vinyl wraps on my cars throughout the winter. At most, you may have a little bit of peeling under the side skirts or in the wheel wells where all that ice and snow is going to build up over a couple weeks. But even then, if you can drive your car to where you need to go, put it in the garage, clean it, you're not going to have too many issues. Where there's plasti dip stuff, it seems simple, but in the long run, it's really going to bite you in the ass. And if you're going to do the job, you may as well do it right. So all that being said, I'm going to go ahead. We'll start the car up. It does have a nice little exhaust on it. You'll get a little clip of that, and we'll pull a vehicle in the shop, start stripping all this stuff down, and start to lay some vinyl on it. All right, just to show you guys a little comparison, I kind of wiped down the Plasti dip on the hood. You guys can see there's the texture, and then that's the original paint, which is the nice sapphire black. This is the roll we're gonna be going, which is a KPMF satin black, matte black film. I'll cut a little piece off and I'm gonna put it on the fender just to show you a side-by-side comparison on how it's gonna match with the Plasti dip. So side by side, you guys can see here's the Plasti dip and you have all of that texture. It's not a true satin, it's kind of all over the place. And then when you go down to the vinyl film, try to zoom in on you guys. You can see there's a lot more consistency throughout the vinyl. Don't mind, I just laid a piece on just to show you guys there's some dirt under it. But you can see how you get that one shade all the way through. It's consistent. Right, with the Plasti dip, it's really blotchy all over. You guys can see there with the light hitting on it. It just doesn't, the finish isn't all there. Where the vinyl wrap, you've got that consistent, smooth finish throughout the fender. So that's where, when you're paying for something like this and then a vinyl wrap, you guys can see the difference in quality. And like I was saying, this wasn't a terrible job. Besides the job itself, it's not that bad, right? It's, if you paid for a Plasti dip and you got this, you can't be fully upset. It's not like there's different colors or it's peeling off or whatnot. It's pretty solid throughout. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue to peel it. And this is what you can see, guys, is whoever did this job, it was decent coats, because I've peeled these off cars before and it's a nightmare. Keep in mind it was only on for a couple months before the client reached out to us to get the vinyl replaced. So all in, you guys can see it's pretty much just the front bumper, the hood. We got a little bit on the roof, but everything else is stripped. The Plasti dip, we're just gonna have to wash the car, make sure you guys can see all these crevices on every corner of the car. They're all gonna be covered with this dip. You guys can see even that rear shark fin, it looks like it's really light coats, especially because this is in direct contact with the sun. So you're gonna run into more fade and breakdown from the UV. And that's one thing that's nice with the vinyl wraps, is they do withstand a lot of the UV, and they keep the initial shape. All right, so we did kind of skip ahead a little bit. Quite a bit of the car got finished, but you guys can see the difference already. We also spray a PPF soapy water slip solution finish kind of on the film, just so it doesn't scratch as much while we're laying it. So when it dries, it does leave these oil marks, but you just go over it with a once around wipe. But you guys can just see it's throughout the entire wrap. We'll go to the other side. This side's fully finished and trimmed up. You guys can see it's just consistent, right? That's what you get with a vinyl wrap. It's not a spray where you gotta spray on sections. I'm not sure how it was done previously. I know you can either use a can, or there's the spray guns that you buy the formulas and mix it up. But if you're not doing it to a professional level, you're gonna get that blotchiness, you're gonna get those paint strokes on it, where the vinyl wrap is consistent throughout the entire everything, right? Unless I go to a corner right here and completely stretch it over the capacity that the vinyl can stretch, then you're gonna, obviously there's gonna be inconsistencies throughout. But you know, us here, Arctic Auto, we take great care in applying each vinyl, different finishes. There's different techniques on installing each one. So something like this is fairly basic, right? All right, we just pulled up. It's a Sunday morning, about 9 o'clock, maybe just before. Car is pretty much fully completed. You just have to get the door handles back in, rims all polished up. You can see front bumper done. We also went ahead and wrapped the crossbars. in a nice gloss red, just as an accent piece, because you know we got the red calipers and then we've got the red interior inside. So all together it's gonna flow very nice. So just like this, we have the satin black wrap, fully completed, red crossbars. Car turned out really sleek compared to the Plasti dip on before. You guys can just see day and night difference, the consistency throughout the wrap. It's got a little bit of a flake in it, which is nice compared to the Avery Dennison and 3M, which their films are almost just a shimmer. There's no flake in it. I absolutely love these dragon tail lights. Look very sharp on the car. And then this nice, it's got a nice MagnaFlow muffler with carbon fiber tips. Gives a nice sound. I'm just gonna go ahead. I gotta wipe down these windows a little bit. You guys can see a lot of fingerprints on them and everything. It looks beautiful. You guys can see we got the early generations versus the new.